Hi and welcome to a brand new video. So today we're going to be tackling the problem on the screen where you have an array and you need to see whether you can take every integer and pair it with another integer so that one of them is 2 times greater than the other. And this is just a fancy way of saying that. So as you can see here, 3 is now paired with 6, but then this one can't be paired with anything. This 3 can't be paired with anything, so that's why we returned false. Additionally, here these two are paired, but these two can't be paired, so that returns false. But here you can see that you compare a 2 and 4 and -2 and -4, so that returns true. So in order to do this, we're going to be creating a map, and this map is going to just track how many instances of every integer we have. So what we're going to do is we're just going to create a map. It's going to be a tree map. And then we can iterate through the array here and be like 4 int x and a. We're going to do map dot map.put. We're going to put x, and on the right side here, we actually have two options. We can either, there's already this integer, and then if there's already this integer, we just want to +1, right, to increase the count. But otherwise, we just want to set 0. So this is why we're going to do map.get or default x or 0 +1. So let's actually kind of break this down in case you haven't watched the previous video in which I used this. So what you do is that you or default says that if map.get x, if there is a value for that, it will return the value, otherwise it will return 0. So basically if it's like if you have an array of 1 comma 1, so the first time there isn't any instance of 1, so return 0 and then +1 will make it 1. But then here we already have it, so we'll get 1 and then we'll +1 to make it 2. So that's basically what this is doing. So now we created a map that contains how many instances of every number there are. And then additionally, we just also need to create another, this time an array, and it's going to be A here, but it's actually going to be as an integer. And the reason this is helpful is that you'll see that in just a minute that we can use a function on it. So we do b of I is equal to a of I. Perfect. And then, but how do we use this? What's the point? Well, we need to sort this array, and we're going to sort it based on the absolute value. In order to do that, we're going to do comparators, comparing b to, whoops, my bad, comparator dot comparing int math dot abs, and then we need to surround this in an arrays dot sort. So basically what this function is doing here is it's going to be sorting the array B based on the absolute value of the integer. So normally we use the comparator class here in order to change how we sort B, and this time we're changing it to do math.apps. So now that we have this sorted, we can go ahead and get to the juicy part. So we do 4 int x in B. We have 3 scenarios. A, map.get x just is equal to 0, or doesn't exist, and here we just do continue. If map.get 2 times x, if that's equal to 0, then we have to return false, right? because that means that we don't have x times 2 inside the array, and that means that we return false. And then otherwise, that means they're both in the map. So we do map dot put x as map dot get x minus 1. So we're basically just removing an instance of it. And then we have to do the same thing with 2 times. Perfect. And if it gets out of this loop, that means that every single integer has a times 2 to it. So we can return true, not false. So now let's run this. And as you can see, it looks like there is an error. Let's check it out. Oh, let's change this actually to a hash map. Cannot invoke integer.int value because map.get equals null. Oh, I see what's wrong here. So basically, because maybe this does not exist. So we know that this exists because it's in the array, but maybe this doesn't exist 2 times. And if it doesn't exist, we need to be like get or default comma 0. So even if this does exist, if it's 0, then it'll return 0. And if this doesn't exist, it'll say get or default, right? So it'll return 0. So now if we run this, now you can see that I tested the 4 cases in the notepad, and you can see it returns false, false, true, false. So I hope this solution was helpful, and see you in the next video.